Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I captured my fiancé scheming to ruin my professional life. Once we're married, we'll strip him of all his assets. She chuckled with her pals. I aired the clip during our reception. Her expression the moment she grasped my move. Today, her folks are pleading for me to pick up their calls. A bit of context. I'm 32, manage my own modest yet expanding tech firm that I created from scratch in the past 6 years. My fiancé, now former, is 29, and we've dated for 3 years, betrothed for 1. The ceremony was set for tomorrow. $38,000 lost, but truly the smartest expense I've ever made. It began 3 weeks back. I was pulling late hours in my home study when my fiancé assumed I'd departed for a client appointment. She invited her university buddies over, the group she always amps up with after some drinks. My study sits down the corridor from our lounge, door shut, but their giggles carried through. I was about to pop in and greet them when my name surfaced. He hasn't a clue what's in store post-ceremony, my fiancé declared, her words muddled from wine. More chuckles. Something in her vibe halted me. I silently activated the voice memo on my phone. The prenup's worthless, she went on. My lawyer spotted 3 separate loopholes in it. Once married, we'll seize all his possessions. Her friend inquired, won't he resist? My fiancé snickered, a chilling tone I'd never detected from her. He's shaped his entire persona as the kind-hearted type. Plus, I've been logging emotional mistreatment for months. Totally fabricated, naturally, but who'll doubt a weeping lady? I felt nauseous but continued capturing as they outlined their scheme thoroughly. How she'd nudge me to add her name to my firm after the vows. How she'd slowly distance me from pals who could meddle. How she'd bided her time until my business reached a certain worth before rushing the engagement. Once married, we'll seize all his possessions, she laughed. The residence, the enterprise, all of it. And then I'll relocate to Miami as I've dreamed. I remained there for nearly an hour, taping it all. When they eventually departed, I lingered in my study until I heard her retire. Then I discreetly packed a travel bag, seized my laptop and key papers, and headed to a motel. Sleep evaded me that night. Instead, I phoned my lawyer at 6 a.m. and forwarded him the audio. Stay away from the house, he advised after hearing it. We must proceed cautiously. The following day, I informed my fiancé I was on an urgent work trip. For the next fortnight, I resided in that motel suite, collaborating with my lawyer, recording details, and acting normal during her calls. Miss you, darling, she'd message, eager to become Mrs., my surname. The nuptial arrangements proceeded. I allowed her to think all was well. Yesterday marked our practice dinner. All attended, her parents, my parents who'd traveled from afar, our entire circle. Following the meal, amid the speeches, I rose as if for a touching tribute. Before we rejoice tomorrow, I'd like to present something meaningful, I stated, linking my phone to the location's audio setup. A personal discussion that I believe all should experience. The blood left my fiancé's cheeks as her voice echoed through the space. Once married, we'll seize all his possessions. I observed her shift from bewilderment to dread as she identified the playback. Her parents blanched. My mother inhaled sharply. Many attendees appeared puzzled initially, then stunned as the audio progressed. When it concluded, the venue fell utterly quiet. I gazed straight at her. The ceremony is cancelled. Clearly. Her father rose, cheeks flushed. You taped her in private? That's against the law. My lawyer, whom I'd ensured was there, advanced. In fact, sir, in this jurisdiction, taping discussions you're involved in is fully permissible, and I'd suggest refraining from any warnings at this juncture. My fiancé charged at me, yelling that I was wrecking it all. Guards removed her as she flailed and shrieked. Her parents trailed, her mother sobbing, her father vowing legal action. I remained there, oddly composed, and spoke to the lingering crowd. I apologize for the scene. The event is off. Feel free to savor the meal. It's covered already. Then I exited, entered my vehicle, and drove to my fresh residence, the one I'd covertly leased a fortnight prior and transferred my essentials into. This morning, my device shows 47 unanswered calls. My ex-fiancée, her folks, her buddies, a few of my friends querying what on earth occurred. I haven't replied to anyone yet. Her parents left pleas begging me to respond, claiming there has to be a reason. My fiancé's texts flipped from remorseful to menacing. It was merely banter. You'll pay for this. Kindly ring me. I'll ruin you. I've distributed the audio to all relevant parties, including her employer. Evidently, scheming to falsely claim abuse isn't viewed favorably by her HR team. I ought to feel crushed, but relief dominates. My lawyer assures me I'm legally safe. The site won't reimburse the event fees, but that's acceptable. I view it as the price for discovering her true nature prior to disaster. Edit. Appreciate the encouragement. To address frequent queries. Yes, I'm retaining records of all her menaces. No, I won't attempt reconciliation with her. And yes, I've updated every passphrase and protected my profiles. Update 1. It's been 7 days since my initial share, and wow, I never anticipated such explosion. Gratitude for the solidarity, Reddit. The aftermath from the practice dinner was explosive. From accounts of attendees, my ex suffered a total breakdown in the lot, howling about how I destroyed her world while her dad vowed to prosecute virtually anyone breathing. I eventually met my parents the next day. They were flawed, but backing me. Mom repeated she never liked that girl, which was nonsense as she'd been purely welcoming to my ex previously. Dad simply placed his hand on my shoulder and declared, "You evaded a disaster, son. Indeed." My devices rung incessantly. I at last picked up for her mom, who'd left a sobbing message about how this wasn't her daughter's character. I merely said, "Replay the audio. That's precisely her character," then disconnected. Her dad attempted another tactic, appearing at my workplace without notice. Guards halted him, but not before he caused chaos in the entrance area. One staffer filmed the incident on her device. Upon noticing the filming, he fled swiftly. My ex has rotated through approaches, initially insisting it was humor, then alleging I altered the audio, then arriving at my new residence, unsure how she located it, weeping about her grave error. I addressed her via the door. "Depart or I'll summon authorities." "You can't treat me this way," she wailed. "I adore you. I was spouting nonsense. You were voicing truth. That's the distinction." I contacted police when she lingered and applied for a protection order, approved yesterday. Twist, one of her attendants, dubbed Qley, contacted me secretly. Turns out my ex had executed comparable tactics with prior partners. Qley provided captures from group messages where my ex had debated her strategy for nearly a year. All filed in my evidence folder. The event suppliers have been remarkably understanding. Though the site retained my deposit, others provided partial returns. The food service issued a complete return, noting my ex-groom experienced something alike. I understand. My firm is stable, though I've added more guards temporarily. Navigating shared acquaintances has been toughest. Some support me, others align with her, and some aim for neutrality, which stings nearly as much. One pair even proposed I should have addressed her privately rather than shaming her openly. Sure, because conspiring to wrongly label me abusive merits discretion? No. Received an official note from her lawyer demanding I stop distributing the audio, alleging slander. My lawyer countered with truth as complete shield against slander plus my protection order. I'm drained but advancing. Began counseling, emphasizing career, and pondering how I overlooked so many warnings. The residence is starting to feel cozy, and I'm resting properly again. Oh, and her folks persist with calls from varied numbers. The recent was her mom stating they've cut me from the family. Oh well. Cut from a family I never sought to enter. Whatever shall I do? Edit. Yes, I reviewed my credit immediately. She hadn't initiated anything under my name. And yes, refreshed every code for all I possess. Update 2, half a year on, and this wild phase is at last concluding. Brief summary of developments since last post. 2 of my ex's former partners contacted after viewing my thread. Qley likely shared with them. Both shared strikingly parallel tales. She pursued them for finances, controlled them sentimentally, then exited when unable to secure her goals. We gathered for beverages and exchanged experiences. One even had messages where she outright talked, using him to boost her profession. She'd honed this method for years, with me as the ultimate target in her wealth-seeking pursuit. My ex launched full crisis management, informing anyone listening that I'm emotionally erratic and doctored the audio. Few believe it. The protection order was prolonged after 2 breaches, once via mailed notes to my residence and once attempting entry to our office structure. All logged. Her employer suspended her pending review after their probe. Evidently, she'd engaged in comparable deceit at work, claiming others' efforts and twisting client ties. Consequences strike hard. The non-wedding turned regional folklore. I've received notes from unknowns who learned of the groom who aired the clip. It's notoriety, but the account is precise. I've recouped much of the event expenses via partial returns and vending items. The ring is being resold, and I'm giving portion of proceeds to a group aiding those falsely accused. My firm secured 2 big contracts. I've relinked with prior friends she'd separated me from, and I've begun seeing someone anew. Nothing committed yet. Merely ordinary talks with individuals who view me as a person, not a walking bank. Last update on my ex, she's indeed heading to Miami, as plotted, without claiming my assets. Farewell. Yesterday, closure circled back at a local tech summit. I was delivering a talk when disturbance arose, late arrival. It was my ex. She appeared altered, cropped hair, new fashion, but clearly her. Our gazes locked momentarily, but I pressed on with my speech seamlessly. Professional throughout. Later, during chats with prospects, she neared. May we speak? Briefly. Despite instincts, I consented to a nearby open spot. You seem well, she noted. The business is thriving, evidently. What do you seek? She exhaled. To express regret. I was dismissed post their review. No one in the field will employ me now. Choices lead to outcomes, I replied, sensing only remote sympathy. I'm heading to Miami soon. Fresh start. I needed to face you prior to departure, to admit you were justified in your actions. She seemed diminished somehow, less daunting than the lady who boldly mapped my ruin. Your folks aware of your plans? I queried. We no longer communicate. Not after all surfaced. There were aspects they were unaware of. I'm not seeking pardon, she continued. I merely wanted you aware that I comprehend my wrongs now. Counseling and such, I truly regret. I could have retorted much, but simply stated, I wish you discover what you seek in Miami. She appeared taken aback. That's all. That's all. Your deeds revealed your essence, and mine revealed mine to you. No more to discuss. As I rose to depart, she questioned, Are you content? Truly content, I pondered. My firm flourished. I had genuine companions. I was seeing someone truthful. I rested peacefully. Yes, I affirmed, I am. Her expression lacked fury. It was acceptance, as if she at last grasped her complex plot had liberated me. Her parents messaged that evening. Evidently, she phoned them post our meeting. They sought a gathering to mend family ties now that she was leaving. I ignored. Some connections remained severed. This morning, I awoke beside the lady I've been dating, who knows the full tale and values me for my response. We shared breakfast discussing routine matters, jobs, weekend ideas, films. No plots, no control. Just authentic existence. That's how I recognize this phase is sealed. Not due to my ex's regret, but because the events no longer shape me. It's merely a tale now, with start, core, and finish. People claim top retribution is thriving. They're correct. But ultimate resolution isn't facing history. It's being so satisfied in now that history fades in influence entirely. That's my place now. And it's sufficient. Edit. Last update on this matter. Gratitude for the backing during this insane segment of my journey. And yes, I'm still capturing key discussions. Once scorched, twice cautious.